Hey, Johnny, mate, thanks so much for spending time and coming on the Patch Perspective to talk about your journey through COVID and what's been happening. But probably from a starting point too, can you tell everyone who's tuned in at the moment, where your love of music started from? What's made you into who you are today?
I don't know. I just always heard music in the house. My mum always played music, so obviously, I think when you're a kid, you're greatly influenced without even realizing it. Yeah, but I got into music as a kid, and then I saw the movie. I used to be into breakdancing, believe it or not, and I saw the movie Beat Street, and it has a DJ scene in it, and I was like, wow, this is kind of like, all coming together. So I kind of tried to learn how to scratch records and probably actually scratched a few in the process. Bought a mixer, bought vinyl, and just started as like, a 15-year-old music enthusiast.
Drifting back into the obviously the music side of things for you as well. What are some of your favourite artists? I mean, you've got thousands of records in your collection. You've got decades of knowledge of the space. Who would be one artist or one record that you just go back to every time?
Oh, look, I think from a DJ perspective, somebody like Carl Cox is pretty awesome. Firstly, he's been in the scene a really long time. Secondly, massively respected by his peers, which is, the best measurement, I think. To take nothing away from the punters out there, of course they have their opinions, but if your peers think that you're doing a good job, you know that you're kind of on track. I think that's a great measurement of where things are at as a DJ.
He's a big fan. He's a big fan of Patch too, because he came on board with us early days with Eric Powell and came on board as a Patch ambassador because he's allergic to plasters, believe it or not. So for us, good connection there, and moving ahead, we've formed a really good bond there, and he's a great guy. He's a gentleman, absolute gentleman of the world. But mate, what's your new normal of COVID? I mean, how are you operating? I mean, you go from playing events to regular spots on a Friday night to working from home on a Saturday night. How's it feel?
Well, I mean, it's a bit strange. I mean, a lot of DJs, depending on what gigs they had, kind of, I think, felt it differently. But it just so happened that the gigs that I had booked when this kind of first started to get pretty serious in Australia, the gigs that I had booked I had 2 interstate gigs. I had 1 New Zealand gig, and I had a big party called Reminisce. So I literally lost the next 4 weeks of gigs in one go because as soon as travel was shut down, which was one of the first things to get shut down, while there was still smaller clubs like your 161s and things like that, the bookings that I had were all interstate or very big events. So it was kind of like, okay, life is going to be different for a little while. And then, of course, the clubs shut down completely. And then the smaller gigs, which I had a little bit further down my booking schedule, then they disappeared.
Yeah. And obviously following from that, as we get out of COVID, as we're expanding, you've just started a new business, which is about to pretty much you launched at the beginning of the year, but probably a little bad timing. But I think something like this new concept, and please just give us a snippet of what it is, because coming out of COVID, when people don't want to go to a big volume space, but they want to try and book their own smaller gatherings, obviously what you're doing there.
Yeah, well, I mean, myself and John Curtin and another DJ, Piero, we started Request Artists, which was kind of like in a beta mode through November and December last year, but it kicked off properly in January, which is probably not ideal because it's for purely private functions and events. So it could be anything from a birthday to just an event that you're going to run privately. Could be a corporate launch, could be a launch of a product for a shop, or it could be a wedding, an engagement. And it's basically booking.
Moving forward, it could even be a barbecue, right? So
it could be a post-COVID barbecue. That is correct. In fact, we have one lot. I'm actually booked to play a post-COVID party, but I don't. They're like, we want you to do it. We're going to hold a party out in Torquay, actually, but there's no date yet because we don't know when it's going to be over. But, and the agency Request Artists is purely in the private space. We don't book for clubs or dance parties, and we book headline DJs for private events.
Yep.
So, the concept was really strong, and the way the website works, it's requestartist.com.au. So if anybody wants to have a look, you can see who's on there, but you can listen to mixes and Spotify links from all of the artists or videos of them playing. You can see bios. You can very easily put requests in to book people. But yeah, timing wise, obviously launching when there's no gatherings is not ideal. But you just got to roll with the punches. The upside is that on the other side of it, there could be a lot of private functions that have built up that are then going to happen over. I think the coming summer is going to be very busy for, the hospitality sector in a way, because even though it may even itself out over time, initially I think there'll be a burst of people wanting to do things, wanting to go out, restaurants wanting to eat in a restaurant. I mean, it'll get back to normal, of course, but there'll definitely be a surge of, if you're used to dining out once every 3 weeks and you haven't done it for 4 or 5 months, you're potentially going to do it every week for the next couple of months. Who knows,
And that's the biggest thing. You hope that the hospitality industry, and especially specifically the ones that have been the hardest hit. Like I'm reading the other day that Long Range shut its doors, right? So places that are institutional type restaurants, and there's been obviously passings of most recently, but with Gin Palace and places like what's going on in the world. It's just everything's changing so rapidly that you do hope everybody has a good rebound and comes back on in the right format. What we've been doing on the tail end of these calls is just doing a rapid fire question set for everybody, and just to fire through it for you. But mate, what's going to be your first meal out of home, and when isolation finishes, or when after it finishes?
I think just honestly a good pub meal. I think with an actual tap beer.
What are you binge watching or listening to now?
Ozark. We've gone through. And currently the Michael Jordan documentary is awesome. And I've actually gone back to the start of Homeland.
What new life skill have you picked up during the lockdown?
Definitely my web broadcasting knowledge has grown greatly.
Yep.
So that's definitely on the top of the list, I think, of new skill sets.
What's been your essential on your shopping list?
Coke Zero.
And did you learn anything surprising about yourself during lockdown?
Well, I did get told by my wife that I chewed too loudly on day 2 of isolation. That may have been more her being home all day than me chewing loudly. No, not too much else. I mean, I'm pretty chilled, and I try to always look at things through a glass half full perspective, and I think you've got to try and do that. I go for a walk every day. While I'm on that walk, I ring different ones of my mates, my friends, to have a chat to them and just catch up, because I don't see them as much. And I think, just keeping positive about stuff that you can control is pretty important. And obviously it's bad that we're in this, but the good thing in a way is that we're all in it together. No one else has got any advantage over anybody else. So from a business perspective, from a DJ perspective, from a record label, even with Vicious, we put music out all around the world, but this is a worldwide issue. So all of our competitors are in the same boat. So it's not like, it's not like one venue's closed and the other one's open, and I'm not DJing at the one that's open, but my venue closed. We're all in it together. So I think you've just got to look at the situation you're in and try and make sure that when things do start to come back, you're in a better, or at least you've spent some of this time dealing with some of the things that you can put to bed, whether it be anything from learning stuff or, getting your paperwork done that you didn't get done, whatever it might be. Now's the time to get stuck into it a bit, I think.
Yeah, no, awesome, mate. But mate, honestly, thanks for sharing your love for the online and on social media on a Saturday night. I think there's been a lot of people echoing the thoughts about how good the tracks are and how good they sound from such a long time ago and everything else. So from everybody's side, I'm sharing a sentiment to say thanks for reaching out and doing all your work. Thanks also too for adapting to the current situation, staying lively and keeping with it, mate. But hopefully we get out of this soon and you can get that app booked up and start making plenty of bookings on there. So
that's it. Thanks for the chat. Appreciate catching up, and all the best to you guys.
Thanks, mate.
And to everybody out there, just stay safe, stay positive, and hopefully I'll see you on a dance floor shaking your ass pretty soon.
And what's the link for the Saturday night side of things for you guys too?
The DJ broadcast is live on my Facebook page, so John Course Facebook page. It's also on DJ John Course YouTube, and I've got it on the Twitch channel as well, because the copyright police of the world do tend to get a bit nasty on broadcast music. And unfortunately, believe it or not, there is no license that you can get at this stage to run a live webcast and play pre-recorded music. So you just got to go with the flow. So we've got it on 3 different platforms so that, there's a few options for people to tune in. And the reception's been amazing. So thanks to everybody who supported it.
It's almost sounding like another good business sitting on that one too. But mate, all the best, and take it easy, and we'll hopefully catch up soon for a cold one and a pub meal.
Yeah. Cheers, mate. Thanks.
All right. Take care.